Gauravani Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Ki Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. Okay, so let's have a short recap on our previous discussions. So we are discussing from chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is titled as Sankhya Yoga by Prabhupada. So basically in this chapter, a detailed description of one specific yoga system, which is known as the Ashtanga Yoga, is described. And also, along with this description, Lord Krishna is giving us the principles which are common to all the yoga systems. So what is the meaning of yoga? Yoga means which can connect, a process which can connect us with Lord Krishna. So authentic process which can connect us with Lord Krishna are many. It's like the Jnana Yoga or the Dhyana Yoga or Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, like what is mentioned here. So yoga means any authentic process which can help us in reviving our connection with Krishna, because all of us are actually connected to Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita is speaking about Yoga Shastra Brahma Vidya, right? Vyasadeva, while including this section of Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata, he mentions that this part of knowledge which is imparted by Lord Krishna is called Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, why? Because it is speaking about Brahman. Brahman means spirit, spiritual. So that specific knowledge is part of this particular knowledge. And also Yoga Shastra. Yoga means, as I was discussing, the specific various processes, rules, regulations, which help us in connecting us with Krishna. Right now we are disconnected. So in the initial 6 chapters, actually, Krishna is explaining what is known as Karma Yoga. How by acting through various senses, mind, you can keep yourself connected with Krishna. So this Sankhya Yoga or the Ashtanga Yoga, which Krishna is describing in this particular chapter, is explaining a very authentic process of how, if somebody is very serious in the discipline of practicing yoga, he can follow some specific rules, regulations, and very quickly come to the point of perfection. And it all depends on the practitioner's seriousness, his willingness, and his dedication. That's what Krishna was explaining in this various verses of this chapter so far. So, what is the difference between Karma Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga? This particular difference is also Krishna explaining in verse number 3 and 4 of this chapter. Right? So, what happens with this Sankhya Yoga is also, or Ashtanga Yoga is also like Karma Yoga only. Karma Yoga means you're using your various senses. Different activities happen. Right? So, up to certain stage in the Sankhya Yoga, the Ashtanga Yoga also, there are activities which one has to do. Yama. Activities which one is prohibited to do. Niyama. Do's and don'ts, actually. Yama, niyama means do's and don'ts, which are all done by our gross senses. Right? Asana also with our senses. Right? Pranayama becomes a little more subtler, wherein you are going to have internal airs, the pranavayus within us being controlled by the mind. right? So like that, more and more subtler actions, it goes into deeper and deeper. That's why in verse 3, if you see in this chapter, Krishna says, for one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, Aru Ruksho, which means a beginner in Krishna consciousness, karma karanam uchyate. Work is said to be the means. He has to act, right? You cannot, oh, I have to do yoga means not simply sitting. He has to work, because the process of Ashtanga yoga is to gradually bring you to the point of what is known as trance or samadhi. That is of perfection. To come to that stage of perfection, you have to follow some step-by-step process of actions, of doing do's and don'ts, sitting postures, controlling the the air within the body, pranavayus, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. Then there is more subtler action of seeing that the different influences of desires, which is constantly coming in our consciousness, is being warded off, so that your mind is focusing and on the Paramatma feature, pratyahara, right? Dharana. Then you try to focus your attention on the super soul within the heart. Then dhyana. Then that focus should be steady, because again and again there will be a lot of disturbances constantly. It is step-by-step process. So the difference between karma yoga and Ashtanga yoga is that karma yoga, basically what we understand in the beginning of this chapter, beginning of these few chapters here, like chapter 2, 3, 4, 5 and all, is that you are engaging your senses in specific ways as directed by scriptures in your normal course of activities. For example, the recommendation of yajna, which Krishna gave in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, wherein when you offer food to Krishna in a specific way, that becomes yajna, because food is something required for your subsistence. Simply eating food without acknowledging where from the food is coming and all these things will lead you to entanglement in this material world. Right? It is what Krishna mentioned in the chapter. So basically, karma yoga is something like for an ordinary person which is only doing karma or activities for his subsistence and entangling himself, karma bandhana. Lord is recommending that you do in a specific manner. So it's called prescribed way of doing activities. Prescription is given. When you become diseased, you go to a doctor, he'll diagnose you and he'll give a prescription. Prescription includes also what you should eat, right? How much medicine you should take, when you should take. It's called prescription. So prescribed duties, as enjoined in scriptures, will gradually purify the mentality of our inclination to do anything and everything and entangle ourselves more and more. Our whole, the reason why we are right now in this material world with a material body is because we have done actions which are not prescribed, and we have done it on our own whimsically, and we are in this situation now. So the Vedic scriptures want us to conduct ourselves in a specific manner so that we come to a proper consciousness and purify our mind-body system and liberate ourselves. Because right now this body, this mind-body system, this whole existence, material existence, is a sort of a imprisonment for us. So human form of life is an opportunity to get out of this imprisonment. So human form of body offers this wonderful opportunity to understand the purpose of life and accordingly execute actions based on the directions given in the scriptures so that we can free ourselves from this continuous cycle of birth and death. So karma yoga in that way is meant for general public. All of us. Because we have family, we have commitment, we have that, we have this. So instead of doing Instead of eating food in your own way, eat like this. Instead of doing activities for yourself, do it for Krishna. Krishna says later on, this Karma Yoga is again summarized in 9th chapter. Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Very nicely Krishna says, at whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever yat karoshi, rashnasi, whatever you do, whatever you eat, and whatever you offer, yad juhoshi, and whatever you do, charity, and whatever austerities you do, yes, yat tapasi, everything you perform as an offering unto me. That is Karma Yoga. But Karma Yoga can also become mechanical. Like, you have to offer to Krishna the food, keep it in front of Krishna. It can become mechanical. That's why Krishna brings in the concept of bhakti. Bhakti means the bhavana, the loving emotions towards Krishna. And this loving emotion towards Krishna, how to develop that is what Krishna explains in the middle 6 chapters, 7 to 12. If the bhakti bhavana is not backed with the proper understanding of the true facts of what is God, Krishna, what we are, what is this material world, if it simply becomes sentimental, then it will not last long. That's why the last 6 chapters, from 13 to 18, is called Jnana Yoga. So bhakti, which is in the middle, should be performed, karma yoga, as a Karma Yoga, backed with Jnana Yoga. Then bhakti becomes perfect. Otherwise, bhakti only you go on doing without proper understanding, it will remain a sentiment. It will not last long. Just see how nicely Krishna has so nicely given us Bhagavad Gita. So coming to the point of Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, as I told you, so those who don't want to follow this general practice of common public, they want to quickly move forward. I want to be, moving forward in the path of yoga practice, and I want to achieve perfection. For them, these recommendations are given. What are the recommendations? Mind control, sense control, go to forest, secluded place, in a specific way, you make a sitting place, sitting in a particular posture, staring at the tip of your nose. So many recommendations we saw in this chapter, right? So like this, with full mind control, full sense control, focusing, your attention on Krishna with full determination, concentration, dedication, so many things Krishna said here, right? All this is not very practical for all of us, or most of us. Maybe a few handful can do this, right? Not easy. Krishna, Arjuna is going to tell this in a very, very soon. We're going to see this, right? So here, Krishna's purpose of describing this particular yoga process is to make us understand that there is an authentic process like this. A process, if you're serious, if you can follow this, it is good, but not possible by everybody. Because Krishna's whole purpose is to bring you to the point of spiritual perfection. As in the 5th chapter, he went on telling Brahman stage, right? So many times Krishna went on, repeating that Brahma Samsparsha, Brahman stage, all these things. He was the Brahma Nirvana, he was repeating these words. So coming to the stage of Brahma Nirvana, somebody is, I want to expedite the whole process. Then you follow this. Not easy, right? So as you are seeing, even reading them, it is difficult to understand also. Very technical it is, but nevertheless, good for our, at least the principles mentioned in this section are all going to help us to even understand what are the yoga principles. Because these very principles are elaborately described in the Bhagavatam again by Shukadeva Goswami, by Kapila Muni, in various different instances this being described. So getting to understand the principles of yoga is also good for us. What are the principles? And Krishna consciousness is such a wonderful process wherein all these principles are already it's already inculcated in them, incorporated in them. So Prabhupada says just simply following the simple process of Hare Krishna chanting every day and hearing that mantra what you are chanting will automatically take care of all the different steps of Ashtanga Yoga. It is the point. So very, very important revelation which Krishna is going to make. He's going to reveal this secret in the end of the 8th chapter. He's going to tell, specifically Krishna says, I'll read out that verse. Says, Vedeshu yagneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu tatpunya phalam pradishtam. Right? He says that a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results, studying from Vedas, performing austere sacrifices, giving charity, pursuing philosophical research, fruitive activities, etc., etc. Or his yoga process. Austerity is one of the severe austerity it is. So when you do devotional service, whatever results you Vedas, performing severe austerities, or Jnana Marga, Karma Marga, everything is in devotional service. And you'll get the same perfection. That is the revelation Krishna is making here and there in Bhagavad Gita for us to understand that, yes, of course, this description is there just to make us understand, yes, one of the processes. But what is happening in the modern day? This Ashtanga Yoga's different components are taken separately and they are marketing it. It's like, yoga, they say. What yoga? They do some asanas, as Prabhupada says, some gymnastics they do. Right? Different types of yogas. Chair yoga, sleeping yoga, or I have also heard of, wine yoga. Right? You're keeping a bottle of wine in front of you and do some asana and drink something and again you do some asana. So all such concoctions are going on of, in the name of yoga. They think yoga means to keep your body fit, healthy, so that you can enjoy your senses nicely, and that's it. But purpose of yoga is not to simply keep your body fit. Keeping body fit is the byproduct. Purpose of yoga is to achieve perfection of getting connected to Krishna again. Revive your connection with Krishna. That is the purpose. So unfortunately, some propagating asana, different asanas, and they think that's what is purpose of life, or pranayama. Like this, they go on. And they all use these big words like samadhi and all, don't even know the meaning of it. Right? Like this, it is people are being misled. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita is clearly telling all the description of these various aspects in a very, very nice way, a simple way, Krishna is telling us. So now we have understood that Krishna describing all these various aspects of Ashtanga Yoga, how when a yogi comes to this point of perfection of Brahma Bhuta, Krishna says in verse 27, the yogis who are fixed in me like this, they attain the highest happiness, Uttama Sukha, right? Prashanta Manasa, right? And then their Shanta Rajasa, 3 things Krishna says. They get the highest happiness, their mind is very peaceful, right? And then their passions are quieted. Just the opposite is situation of every one of us in the material world. We take something else as happiness and running behind that. It's one type of flickering happiness. Whereas Krishna is telling, when you come to the perfection of yoga, you're going to experience the highest happiness, Uttama Sukha. Right? And your mind is always peaceful, not agitated. And you're not, your passions are not, disturbing you. Passions means, I want to become like this, I want to enjoy like this, I want to do that, I want to do that. This is called passionate. Very actively doing, being very active in sense gratification. You're not interested in sense gratification. Rather, you're interested in self-realization. That's the point. That's what Krishna explains in verse 28. That in this way, being steady in the self, freed from all material contamination, the highest stage of happiness is achieved by the yogi, and he's in touch with the Brahman or supreme consciousness, Brahma Samsparsham. So when one has come to the stage of Brahma Samsparsha, or the stage of perfection, what is his vision? Is what Krishna explains, going to explain in the next 4 verses. Very interesting verses, very important verses of Bhagavad Gita. Right? Okay. So the 4 verses which are going to be in series now, let us understand them carefully. The first verse, Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam, Sarva Bhutani Chatmani, Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma, Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Right? So, Krishna is explaining about the situation of a Yoga Yuktatma, one who has achieved perfection. Prabhupada is translating it as a person who has dovetailed in Krishna consciousness, or whose consciousness is completely absorbed in Krishna's thinking. Right? A true yogi, what does he see? He sees that Krishna is present in all living beings. Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam. Krishna is present in all living beings and also sees every being in me. Very nice. Krishna is telling. So you seeing Paramatma in everybody and also sees everything in Krishna. All living beings in Krishna. In this way, the self-realized soul sees me everywhere. Sarvatra Samadarshana is called, Prabhupada says, this is called equal vision, a vision of equality. This vision of equality, Krishna has explained in 5th chapter also. In context of Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shapa Kecha Pandita Samadarshana. So in the context of how we should not see the bodily distinctions, animal, human, right, bird, like this animal, this body distinction is only because of the different dresses we have taken because of our own past actions. But all of us are actually soul, spirit soul. Right? Seeing from that angle of you being a spirit particle and not this body is also called equal vision or vision of equality. Here further description is given that along with the soul, there is also super soul. This knowledge is revealed. Now, Prabhupada very nicely says, one who is practicing yoga, only he can see this. Others cannot see this. Others will only see bodily distinction, bodily discrimination. Whereas a Krishna conscious person, or a person practicing yoga as per the directions given by Krishna, can see Krishna both in the heart of the believer and the non-believer. Because when a Krishna conscious person or a yogi sees another person, he doesn't see as a body. He sees within him as a spirit soul. Along with him, super soul also is there. This is called vision of equality. Because we are lacking this vision of equality, we are having this distinction, discrimination based on body, community, society, nationality. So much of lot of problems what is going on right now is only because of this discrimination, caste discrimination, age discrimination, sex discrimination. Right? So many things, what is all as we are facing as problems is because of this lack of vision, lack of this vision of equality. Whereas Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is for every living entity. In fact, he welcomed citizens from every nationality. Everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. So basically, we should come to this level of consciousness. This is the advancement of consciousness. This is the sign. Or if you are progressing in Krishna consciousness, means this consciousness we should be rather elevated to, evolved to. And that Paramatma is also along with the individual soul. One is seeing everybody as individual soul. Next is to see Paramatma also along with the individual soul. This is what Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Right? Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Lord is also seated as Paramatma in everybody's heart. So, Prabhupada very nicely says that Paramatma is not only in the human body, is also in the body of a dog. Right? That's what Krishna says in 5th chapter. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi hastini shuni chaiva. Brahmana, gavi means cow, hastini means elephant, shuni means dog. In everybody, and a chandala or a low caste person, everybody having this spirit soul, and Paramatma also is there. The point is that just because somebody is a low caste or an animal, Paramatma is not there. No, Paramatma is in everybody's heart. Even in an ant's body, Paramatma is there. Right? Whereas, just because some living entity from our vision is considered to be inferior, and Paramatma is there, it does not mean that Paramatma's position is reduced. No. Prabhupada says, material influence doesn't affect, material situation doesn't affect Paramatma. Prabhupada says this is the supreme neutrality of the Lord. The supreme neutrality aspect, Krishna has explained in the 4th chapter. If you see the verse number, I think 14. Yes. 14 as well as specific verse. It says, yeah, 14 also is going to explain the same neutrality of Krishna. That even though Krishna is present in everybody's heart, he is actually Krishna says, no work affects me. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha. No action, no, I don't aspire for any fruitive action. One who understands the truth about me is not affected by the reactions, Krishna says. So like this, Krishna's neutrality with regard to existence of various aspects in this material world, Krishna has established very clearly. So this is the point, first aspect of his verse. Krishna says, I am in everybody's heart, sarva bhutastam atmani. Second aspect, Prabhupada explains, sarva bhutani chatmani, which means all living entities are also in Krishna. One is, Krishna is in everybody's heart. Second point is, all of us are also situated on Krishna. This we are going to understand in the next chapter, the 7th chapter, that the different energies of Krishna, there are primarily 2 energies. Superior energy, called spiritual energy, and the inferior energy called the material energy. We living entities also belong to the superior energy, but we are called marginal energy. It's also part of superior energy only. Which means anything you see in this material world is all actually energy of Krishna. Right? So, this is how a person sees. Just like one example we can take. When you see a tree, you should understand that tree is having a spirit soul and Paramatma also in that. And the tree, the various features of the tree, the body of the tree is actually energy of Krishna. It is actually part of different various Panchabhuta, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, ingredients of Krishna. Right? This is how. So, the living entities are all situated on Krishna's energy. This is the second point Krishna is telling. So, what Krishna is telling is that a true yogi observes Krishna in all beings and also sees all beings in Krishna. In this way, a true yogi sees Krishna everywhere. Sarvatra Samadarshana. Anywhere he sees, only he sees Krishna. Nothing else. Very wonderful verse. Next verse is almost similar to the previous verse. Little more further expanding the concept. 30th verse. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. So, Krishna says, Yomam pashyati sarvatra. One who sees me everywhere. And also sees everything in me. In the previous verse, he was telling about living beings. I am in every living being as Paramatma, and all beings are in me. Now Krishna is further expanding his understanding and telling not only living beings, anything you see is me. One who sees me in everything, one who sees me everywhere and everything in me. Anything you see is Krishna only. Sarvam khalo idam Brahma. This is a Vedic statement. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, when he's asked by his father Hiranyakashipu, where is your Lord Narayana? He said, he is everywhere. He is in the air, he is in the water, he is here, he is there, everywhere. Right? This is the understanding. Yomam pashyati sarvatra. One who sees Krishna everywhere. And also sees everything in Krishna. Yashoda Mata, when the complaint came that Krishna is eating mud, then she was very angry with Krishna. You're eating mud. I'm giving you the whole nice, butter and everything. You don't have sense. So she was a little angry. But open your mouth. She opened and she could not see, she could not, her mind was reeling. Because she could see the whole cosmic universes, everything within the mouth of Krishna. Because Krishna made Yashoda Mata to forget she as a mother, and he put her in a position of a devotee, sort of a vision, Jnani sort of a vision. How Krishna is everything, universal form. He showed it in his within his mouth. She got bewildered. Right? Everything within Krishna. Just like we seeing during Kartik Mass, that the stomach of Krishna, it is a shelter of all the universes. Right? Like that, Krishna, everything is within Krishna. And Krishna also is everywhere. That is Krishna's omnipotency. Kunti Maharani prays like this. Antar Bahir Avastitam. It's situated both inside and outside. That is Krishna's inconceivable potency. So, the point here is Krishna's all-pervasive aspect and Krishna's localized aspect, Krishna's omnipotent aspect, Krishna's omniscient aspect is what we have to recognize and understand. So this is the level of realization sadhaka, a yogi, or Krishna conscious devotee has to come to. That is the point. Not that Krishna is only limited to one place in the temple or in some place and he's not here. Right? It's a nice story which is told in this context. Once one guru told his disciples, gave all disciples one banana and told, should eat this banana in a place where nobody sees you. Because just before that, giving that banana, he had given a statement from Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is everywhere. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina. Right? Everywhere Krishna and Krishna's energies are there. This verse also, he was teaching Bhagavad Gita every day, and because see, the difference of only reading Bhagavad Gita and realizing Bhagavad Gita is what is going to demonstrate in this story. Okay, sometimes we only read Bhagavad Gita, but we don't realize or we don't get into the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. That's what he wanted to test these disciples. So all banana was given and everybody went back. So one disciple He was seeing where, how to eat in a place. So what did he do? He went to a room where he locked the room, even switched off the light, and he ate the banana. Oh, nobody saw me. Right? Somebody thought, okay, if I eat openly, maybe something will happen. So he put himself under one blanket and he ate the banana. So like this, almost all of them have discovered their own ways and means to eat the banana where nobody can see. Right? Then one disciple somehow, he couldn't do this. That he was seeing everywhere some Krishna. Krishna is always, he's in the heart only. He's seeing me always. Right? That's what Krishna says. I'm in the heart of everybody as Paramatma. So next day, all of them came and most of them gave their versions. Oh, I've eaten Gurudev. Nobody saw me. This, that. Oh, very good, very good. The one disciple was without action, and he's like got the banana back. What happened? Why couldn't you eat? Why didn't you find a place where nobody is there? No Gurudev. Where is the place where there is no Krishna? Everywhere is there. Not only there, within heart only is sitting. Where I can eat. It is a true understanding of Bhagavad. Right? That is the point. So, a person in Krishna consciousness sees Krishna everywhere and he sees everything in Krishna, Prabhupada says. Even though everything may seem to be a little different. Oh, this is a mountain, this is a river, this is something, this is something. But all of them, actually, he knows are different manifestations of Krishna's energy only. They are not different from Krishna. Right? This is what a Krishna conscious devotee sees. Very advanced devotee sees this way. That's why Rupa Goswami, what does he recommend? Everything is Krishna's energy. Use everything for Krishna's service. Yukta Vairagya. Anasaktasya Vishaya Nitharmopayunata. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Mujja. Because everything is Krishna's energy. Everything should be used for his purpose only, his satisfaction only. So, Prabhupada says, nothing can exist without Krishna. Krishna is the Lord of everything. That is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Just see. If you say something is existing without Krishna, which means that is called Maya. This is what the Chatushloki Bhagavata says. Lord Krishna instructed Brahma in Bhagavatam. We see get this description. Krishna says in the first verse, I was in the beginning, I am now in the present, and I will be there even after dissolution. The second sloka of that Chatushloki Bhagavata says that whatever you see other than me, think that something is there without me is called Maya. Maya means no Krishna, which means you have concocted yourself something without Krishna. That is called Maya. So nothing can exist without Krishna, and Lord Krishna is everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. So this is the development of consciousness which one has to evolve to. One has to come to. It is called the perfection of consciousness. So basically, this is even beyond this development of consciousness, even beyond material liberation. What is material liberation? Just I had to be, coming out of this suffering of this material world. I have to be mukta. But just being a mukta from the material sense, just like sometimes people think I have this problem, that problem. Oh, I am free from this problem. Oh, liberated. That is only, one degree of liberation. But actual, real liberation is what? Bhagavatam explains again very nicely. Muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. When you are situated in your constitutional position of not taking one more body, material body, and your real situation of anyatha rupam, no other rupa except swarupa of Krishna's servant, always. That is called real mukti. So, this stage is a very elevated stage of Krishna consciousness, wherein Krishna says very nicely, one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Very nice, simple statement, but profound meaning. This is the development of pure love of Krishna. Anything you see, it's like Prabhupada gives example of a mother. She's seeing, shoes of a child. She remembers the child. She sees the toy of a child. Oh, my child used to play, is playing like this with this child. Like this. Anything connected to the child, she is remembering the child. Like that, a devotee sees anything and everything as Krishna's. He sees everywhere Krishna only. And he wants to engage everybody in Krishna's service. That's what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada was saying all of us are all part and parcel of Krishna, but we have forgotten serving Krishna. So he wants us to again somehow connect back to Krishna and revive a relation with Krishna. That's what pure devotees see. Pure devotees don't see our material bodies. So for such a devotee who is always like this, seeing everything in connection with Krishna, he is never lost out of sight of Krishna. Or another Prabhupada says, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Both Krishna and devotee have a very intimate relationship. That's what it is. Prabhupada is saying is here. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee exists. Always in connection. It's like sometimes people ask, where is God? For a pure devotee, there is not even a one moment they are separate from Krishna. Because their consciousness is so absorbed. They are so soaked in that understanding of consciousness that they cannot be separate from Krishna one moment also. Prabhupada is quoting from Brahma Samhita, wherein Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam. So Brahmaji is telling, one whose eyes are anointed with the mascara, or that people, women put that kajal, right? Like that, your eyes are anointed with the love of Krishna. Then constantly you're only seeing Krishna in your heart. This is the level of perfection. So verse number 29, Krishna said, I am in everybody's heart and everybody in me. Verse number 30, Krishna said, I am, one who sees me everywhere and everything in me. I am never lost, nor is ever lost, which means very intimate relationship between a devotee and Krishna exists for a person who has advanced to a stage of perfection. Next, verse number 31. All these four verses are all, interrelated. Sarva bhuta sthitam yoma bhajat ekatvam asitaha sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi maya vartate. So Krishna is telling, the yogi who knows that I and the super soul, I means Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, Krishna's personality and the super soul within all creatures are one, worships me and remains always me in all circumstances. Basically, Krishna wants to say that Krishna as a personality and Krishna's various expansions as Paramatma, or in our understanding, the deity form called Archa Vigraha, or more simplistic is the incarnation of sound as Lord Krishna's holy name, Nama Prabhu. They're all Krishna only. No difference. Krishna is telling us here. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinnatva Nama Namino. Abhinna Tattva. Abhinna means non-different. Sometimes we'll have conception, oh, Krishna and Golok Vrindavan, he's something super. Whereas Krishna in this temple, little lesser value. Or Krishna in holy name, little more less. We do our own gradation of values. No. Krishna is telling, Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna in your heart as Paramatma, holy name, deity, prasadam, Bhagavad Gita, all are same in potency. Very important revelation. Because for Krishna, it is his omnipotence to manifest in different various manifestations. Omnipotency means all powerful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. Every name of Krishna is invested with all the potencies of Krishna. So, very nicely Prabhupada says, a devotee who is always acting in Krishna consciousness is automatically liberated. Why? Because Prabhupada is quoting from Narad Pancharatra. He says, Dik kaladi anavachinne Krishne cheto vidhayacha tanmayo bhavati kshipram jivo brahmani yojayet. By concentrating one's attention on the transcendental form of Krishna, who is all pervading and beyond time and space. This is one thing which Krishna explained in verse 29 to 30. Krishna is all pervading beyond time and space. What is beyond time and space? In our case, we are limited by time and space. At the same time, I cannot be here and also at Bangalore. Physically. As Krishna can physically be simultaneously everywhere. That is Krishna's omnipotence. He expelled as 16,108 forms. In every palace, he was present physically with every queen in Dwarka. With every gopi in Rasa dance, he was beside every gopi and dancing Rasa dance. That is Krishna. In every Jivatma, along with every Jivatma is sitting as Paramatma. That is Krishna. It's beyond time and space, all pervading. So if you focus your attention on this Krishna, who is transcendental, who is all pervading beyond time and space, and you become absorbed in thinking of Krishna, Krishne cheto vidhayacha, then what happens? He immediately becomes associated with the transcendental aspect of Krishna. Immediately we get associated. That's why Prabhupada says, when you vibrate Hare Krishna mantra, and here you're associating with Krishna. Because Krishna and Krishna Nama are not different. Abhinna. His Nama, Rupa, Leela, Guna are non-different. Non-different means everything has same potency as Krishna. Anything you associate, you get the same benefit, same spiritual benefit. So when you hear Bhagavad Gita, when you chant Hare Krishna, when you see Krishna's form, and when you discuss about Krishna, all are equally potent like Krishna only. So because Krishna is transcendental beyond, is all pervasive beyond time and space. Dikkaladi anavichanne, very important. Transcendental and is all pervading beyond time and space. It's Krishna's position. So Prabhupada gives an example here. How Krishna is all pervading. Just like you are here and your friend is in America or other some country, the same zone, maybe a little far away. So if you say, where is the sun? You'll say I'm in Delhi and you're in Bangalore. Where is the sun? Sun is above my head. In Bangalore also, sun is above your head only. The same sun is already on everybody's head. Right? Or you have 100 pots of water and a light from top, one light. That light will be reflecting in every pot. Right? Like that, Krishna is all pervading, transcendental, beyond time and space. If Prabhupada says a material object like this can be present everywhere, why not Krishna? Krishna is the supreme transcendental personality. So, this is Krishna's inconceivable potency. That he is, even though he is in Goloka Vrindavana, he is everywhere. Goloka Nivasati Akhilatma Bhuto. Brahmaji says in his prayers. Even though he is in Goloka Vrindavan, he is in every living entity as Paramatma. Everywhere he is present. See, such a wonderful revelation Krishna is telling. Wonderful philosophy Krishna is giving. Right? So this is Krishna's position. He is in everybody's heart and everything, every living entity is in him. He is, right? He is everywhere and everything in him. And he And Paramatma and any manifestation of him is he only, not different. And a yogi who understands this and worships Krishna like this, he is always with Krishna, Krishna says. So when we worship deity, we are not worshipping a stone or a metal. We are worshipping Sakshat Krishna. When you are chanting Hare Krishna mantra and hearing the holy name, actually it's worship of Krishna in the Kali Yuga. We are not simply vibrating some material sound. It is transcendental sound. So this background understanding, this background knowledge will help us to advance quickly in our Krishna consciousness life. This knowledge is important. That's why reading of Prabhupada's books is so important. Otherwise, we will not have that value system for what we are doing. We take it as very, ordinary. Everything is, because you don't know what is the value. It's like if in your house there's a small child and the child gets a bundle of 500 rupee notes. For the child, that 500 rupee note is no value. It is paper only. It starts playing. All the 100 rupee notes will be torn to pieces after some time. You will after some time go, oh, what did you do? You don't know the value. 50,000 rupees gone. Right? Whereas you think, oh, 500,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, not keep like this, you keep it in the cupboard very safely. Right? So the point is, when you don't value or don't know the importance, don't have the proper knowledge, the transcendental knowledge is going to take out the ignorance within our existence and give us the right direction. That's the point. Now Krishna is concluding in verse number 32. When one who is in this platform of understanding that Krishna is in every living being and every living being is in Krishna, Krishna is everywhere and everything is in Krishna, Krishna and all his various manifestations are he only, then what does a advanced devotee do? Atmopayena sarvatra samam pashyati sorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha. Krishna says, like this, a person who is advanced in consciousness, he is called a perfect yogi. Parama mataha. Yogi parama mataha. The words Krishna uses is very interesting. That yogi, the highest yogi, the perfect yogi is he who knows that I, as spirit soul, just I am spirit soul, everybody is spirit soul, and he sees the true equality. He doesn't see the bodily distinction or discrimination. I am intelligent, he is dull. I am beautiful, he is very ugly. I am big, he is small. I am very rich. This is what material world is. Distinctions, dualities work. We are of that caste. We cannot go and mix with this caste. I am a big person, he is small person. This distinction, discriminations, make you, act in a particular way, think in a particular way, and so many complications we have created in the material world. Whereas an advanced person in this consciousness of Krishna, he will see that everybody are actually, spirit souls. We are all placed in different situations based on our different actions. It's different matter. Right? So he sees everybody are actually suffering. So everybody are going through different phases of their various phases of life only because of their own past doings. But all of them are actually spirit souls. Right? So basically he knows why everybody is going through different happiness, distress because of various things what they have done. But nevertheless, they all can be elevated. Everybody has equal opportunity to rise themselves to the highest perfection of life. Right? So Prabhupada says, a Krishna conscious person is a perfect yogi. Why they are suffering? The only reason why they are suffering is they have forgotten Krishna. Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj used to say that there is anything scarcity in this world, there is no scarcity of anything. Everything is abundantly given by Krishna. Anything which is scarce in the material world is only Krishna consciousness. Everything is abundant. Right? Water, so much is there. Everything is so much. But only our mismanagement, we are making it problem. Right? So, because people have forgotten Krishna, that is the reason they are having these sufferings. So he is saying, taking compassion on them. Whereas this vision doesn't come in an ordinary person. They think, oh, I am very intelligent, very big, very rich, influential. I have earned it. Pride comes in. Right? That is the problem with the ordinary person. So Prabhupada says, such a person, when Krishna says he sees in comparison with his own self other living entities and sees them from the point of view of Krishna consciousness, he becomes a sincere friend of all living entities. Because all of the living entities are subjected to the various sufferings by threefold miseries. So he wants to bring them to Krishna consciousness. That's the point. So in that way, a pure devotee is trying to broadcast his message, Prabhupada says. He tries to broadcast the importance of Krishna consciousness. He is the best philanthropist. He is a perfect yogi, sincerest friend, best philanthropist. Just see. What is the philanthropist? Philanthropist means one who does good for everybody. And he is the dearest servitor of what? Servitor of Lord. Right? So Prabhupada is now comparing what is the difference between a yogi, Ashtanga yogi, and a Bhakti yogi. Ashtanga yogi is interested only for his personal progress, personal, spiritual, yogic perfection. He'll go to forest and mera ho gaya, bas fine ho gaya. Whereas a Bhakti yogi is not interested with his personal development of Krishna consciousness. He wants everybody to become Krishna conscious. A nice story about this Prabhupada quotes about Ramanujacharya. When Ramanujacharya was initiated by his spiritual master, he gave a mantra and said, it's a very special mantra. If you chant this mantra, then you will be liberated and you will be out of cycle of birth and death. And it's a very secret mantra. Don't tell anybody. And after he got this mantra, he was, later on, Ramanujacharya was thinking, if it is so important mantra and you can get liberated by chanting this mantra, why you keep it secret? He went out and openly started chanting this mantra. Right? Then his spiritual master became very upset. What are you doing? I told you it is secret mantra. No. If this mantra is going to liberate everybody, I want to distribute to everybody openly. Even I am going to hell doesn't matter. But everybody goes to spiritual world. It is good, no? So seeing this compassion of Ramanujacharya, his spiritual master became very happy. So this is what Prabhupada has done for us. He has revealed the secret of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement of chanting Hare Krishna mantra to all of us. At the age of 70, when people are retiring and then relaxing comfortably in their homes, Prabhupada took the risk of going out of India and spreading this message. So that's why he's the highest philanthropist or the best philanthropist, sincerest friend of all living entities. Right. So in that way, the difference between a Ashtanga yogi and a Bhakti yogi, Prabhupada explains. So this is what the very nicely Krishna explaining in this 4 verses. See, these 4 verses is somewhere in between 6th chapter. Generally, people miss out this. This has such a profound meaning. These 4 verses. This has complete, the depth of Krishna consciousness in this. Right? Krishna is in all living beings, every being in Krishna. Krishna is everywhere, everything in Krishna. Krishna and his all manifestations are Krishna only. And a pure devotee is just broadcasting this message to everybody. That's all we are understood today. Okay. So we will continue our discussion. Arjuna will come up with some doubts and questions. The later part of this chapter, we'll discuss it next session. Okay. Any questions? Any clarifications? Comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
The Sankhya Yoga, that is the title of this 6th chapter. Yeah. This Sankhya Yoga and the Sankhya Yoga which Lord Kapila revealed to his mother, Devahuti, they are different, right, Prabhuji? The concept?
See, the Sankhya Yoga, in that Kapila Muni's Sankhya Yoga description also, all this description comes, Sankhya Yoga, the Ashtanga Yoga also comes. See, Sankhya basically means analytical study. Analytical study of what? Just like Krishna in the second chapter also, if you see, verse number 39. Second chapter, verse number 39. Krishna says, Yeshate abhita sankhye buddhir yoge yumam shuno. Krishna says, I have declared to you the analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. So Prabhupada explains, Sankhya means which describes phenomena in detail. And Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul. So in the second chapter from verse 11 up to verse 30, description of the real nature of soul was given. Any description of detailed description of any subject matter or any particular aspect is called Sankhya. It's connected to Krishna, it becomes Sankhya Yoga. So in that way, if you see in 5th chapter also, Krishna mentions about Sankhya many times. If you carefully see the 5th chapter, verses, Krishna does mention about Sankhya Yoga in many places. I'll just quote one or two so that you get a complete understanding of what Krishna means. Right? See, he says, verse number 4 of 5th chapter, Sankhya Yogo Prathak Balaha. Verse number 5, Yat Sankhya Prapyate Sthanam. So, basically, here, Sankhya means analytical study of the material world. So, material world has so many things, right? It is composed of the Panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, and the senses. What do you mean senses? Like this, material world means living entity, material nature, Paramatma's feature of Kala. So getting into details of every aspect of this, that's what means Sankhya. And to properly understand this, all these other processes help us. So basically, when Prabhupada is telling, your question may be specifically to understand why Prabhupada called it as Sankhya and not Ashtanga. Is that what? Question?
Yes.
Yeah. So, this is something, Prabhupada is very nicely kept this chapter's name as Sankhya Yoga. Because what happens again in this chapter, if you go through all the overall chapter, Prabhupada, Krishna is actually analyzing the various yoga systems in this. Right? He's getting into the, analysis of different types of yoga systems parallelly, while describing one yoga system in the initial stage. The few verses from maybe 8 or 9th verse onwards up to 20th, 22nd verse, he has described one yoga system. Otherwise, the rest of the chapter is analysis of this yoga system only. Different yoga systems from an overall perspective. That's why it is called Sankhya Yoga. So Sankhya Yoga again is a big subject matter. So Kapila Muni explains about this Sankhya only. Generally, Sankhya in the Western world, it is known as metaphysics, wherein they only analyze the material elements and don't come to any conclusion with regard to the source of this material element.
Soul.
And also soul. They miss out all these aspects. Whereas Kapila Muni gets into details of all the aspects of the material elements, the source of them and how they are originated. And not only that, he also describes the procedure of trying to understand these things, these various things. In that context, he also explains Ashtanga Yoga. In the third canto explains. More detailed manner it explains. So that way, so for my my take from this chapter is that whatever Krishna explains in this chapter, it's complete analysis. You will see later on Arjuna's questions and further in-depth analysis of the different yoga systems. Because later on in the verse number I think 46, there's a mention of tapasibhyo adhiko yogi jnanibhyo mato adhikah karmibhyo jadiko yogi, which means Krishna is giving us understanding of tapasvi, jnani, karmi, and how all of them are at one level, and a practitioner of yoga is at one more level, which means there's analysis of yoga system only, again getting into details. And he concludes, of all the different yogis, who is the topmost? Which means this chapter is not only telling you about Ashtanga yoga, this chapter is also giving you an analysis of the overall yoga systems. That's what this chapter concludes as. Yogina api sarvesham madgate antaratmana. Of all yogis, what does all yogis mean? Karma yogi, jnana yogi, Ashtanga yogi, whatever yogi you want to call them. One who is always in constant connection with me, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, he is the highest of all. So in that way, this chapter is giving a analysis in a very concise manner of all the different yoga systems, because almost Krishna is coming to conclusion of this first section of Bhagavad Gita, wherein already has described many yoga systems in between. Jnana yoga is described in 5th chapter, right? 4th and 5th Jnana yoga was described. 2nd, 3rd chapter is described Karma yoga, Bhakti yoga. So trying to come to some conclusion here. That's why in that way it is Sankhya yoga. Okay, hope it is, I have given my understanding about
Yes,
what
very
I was
clear.
thinking by Sankhya yoga.
Thank you.
Right? Okay. Any other question? We'll close now. Okay, so let's close now. We'll meet again next week. Thank you,
Hare
everybody.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.